Hey and welcome to BoatProjectY. Thank you for joining us as we unveil the secrets behind transforming this extraordinary vessel and discover the hard work, the exceptional craftsmanship and the unyielding spirit of adventure that accompanies every build. Ahoy land crawlers and sea dogs alike! Nothing special to see here? Or is there? Important or not, yet for me it's very special. Who would have thought we'd sail this far? Yes, this pun is intended. 50 episodes! 2 years of blood, sweat and steel shavings, all wrapped up in this glorious chapter of my life. Together we've racked up 1 million views and consequently we've shared a treasure chest of knowledge, forged valuable connections and welcomed an endless wave of new friends, both online and in the real world. A heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you. This journey wouldn't have been possible without your support, your advice and camaraderie. Here's to building this incredible community even further and bringing this grand project to a splendid finish. I have no doubt in my mind we will get there. Now enough of the sweet talk, let's get back to the scent of rust, iron fillings and diesel fumes. Here we go. To snugly fit the new bowskin against the ribs, I'm using a little trick. A light source held against the skin next to the ribs. Then my dad pumps a jack to press the skin against the ribs until the light strip shrinks and disappears completely. That's my cue to attack with the welding gun. So we know that the hull thickness in the diesel tanks is okay, the diesel made sure of that. But what about these spots here? Just the nick where the hull meets the tank. There's been water for forever. And you can see some severe pitting here. I need to know what shape the steel is in. So I'm gonna make some noise, clean it up, and then we'll test it. Follow me along. I've got this nifty ultrasonic device to measure the thickness of the boat skin. It sends an ultrasonic pulse that bounces back from the other side of the material, and the time it takes gives me the thickness, accurate to 0.1 of a millimeter. For visual references, I'm writing the measurements straight onto the hull. I'm happy that the hull thickness is alright, so just a matter of rust busting it, priming and paint. All good, happy me. Oh boy, little did I know. I was just measuring the best part of the hull at that time. The further I went, the thinner the material and the more holes I found. So after wise deliberation, a good night's sleep, I decided to cut out the entire side and weld in fresh steel. Better safe than sorry, right? When checking on the hull, I find these little spots of pitting. here and there, and they go pretty deep, sometimes even a millimeter deep. It's not worth it overplating, so my idea would be to clean it out well and then just fill it up with weld. Yes, I know. There are more spots that needs attention, but I wanted to test this technique on the deepest bits first. And it might not look that smooth and sexy on camera, but trust me, this is a major improvement. Back to the chain locker. Last episode you saw me prep work. Now I'm touching up a few spots with phosphoric acid, giving it a once over with Mag 9000 and then dusting and degreasing everything. Here's the full routine for you. So first we remove all visible rust with the needle gun, rotating brushes or whatever you can find in your toolbox. Secondly, we apply phosphoric acid to convert any remaining rust particles into iron phosphate. Then we remove the residue from this process, dust and degrease everything thoroughly, and apply multiple layers of quality paint. Now, to test the viscosity of this paint, the paint gun comes with this neat little measuring cup, and it should drain this amount of paint within, according to the specs, 25 to 35 seconds. Let's give it a try. Clearly, it needs a bit of thinner. Well, 10% of thinner might be even a little bit too much, but this is what we're gonna get. So you're asking for my 2 cents on this spray gun? Basically, you get what you pay for. I paid peanuts and I got rubbish. It worked extremely well the first run. I was blown away by the results, but then while mixing up my second batch, I believe some paint might have dried into the nozzle in between two batches, and then on the second run it was just like half the result, and by the third and fourth batch I was ready to throw it away. So basically, yeah, you get what you pay for. I'm gonna try to rinse it out, to clean it out as good as I can. Hopefully I can get it to work back to factory standards, but we'll see. To clean the last two compartments of the diesel tank, I'm back at grinding with my trusty safety manager and his water spray. To make straight cuts freehand, I use a wooden beam as a guide. Once the first groove has been made, it's easy to follow it. Oh, watch those toes, mate. Then the Cave of Wonders opens up, revealing 60 years worth of diesel remnants, grime and who knows what else. It's a tedious job. I've scrubbed and soaped these tanks multiple times, but there's still an oily substance clinging on the walls. Any ideas how to remove this, or should I leave it like that? I'm letting it rest for now, see if it rusts. Meantime, we'll move on restoring the old galley and front cabins. Taking my time touching up on some spots that still need a bit of attention, and then I'm also reopening a large hole I patched long ago. In the next episode, I'll walk you through the step-by-step process of restoring it strong and beautifully. For now though, I'll leave you with some remaining atmospheric shots of the boat. Until next time, my friends, fair winds and following seas. Ahoy!